Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have finally the review of HelloFresh. So I want to start by saying HelloFresh does not know I'm making this video. This is not sponsored in any way, which later on in the video, as I get started, you're gonna see that this is in no way sponsored. Not to say that I have a bunch of bad things to say, but I have things that you may not know about the subscription if you're thinking about getting it or anything like that. So this is kind of like in no way to start a debate in a sense. I really am just telling you these things based on what I've learned over the time period of me having HelloFresh. I've been paying for HelloFresh for about 4 or 5 months, and these are just things that I learned. And I know there are a lot of subscriptions out there as far as different meal plans that you can go with, and I will be testing out others so that I can find one that I really like for me. But these are just some of the things I kind of wish HelloFresh had or HelloFresh did. So if you would like to see 10 things that I learned from buying HelloFresh, then just keep on watching. So the first one is that there are slim to no, let me say, when I was seeing all the ads for HelloFresh before I actually got HelloFresh, I was seeing a lot of people say that you're able to pick your dietary restrictions, and you really can't, in a sense that you can't say no dairy, no egg, no bread, no nuts. You can't really say if you have any sensitivities to things like that, and that's what I thought originally when they said that you can choose your dietary restrictions. But what you can pick is like if you want meat and veggies, I believe pescatarian, definitely vegetarian, calorie smart, and maybe a few others, but you can't really say no to specific things that you don't want in your meals, which I find a little bit strange, only because it is a meal service and you would think that you would be able to say, like, if you have a strong allergy for something, you should be able to say no to it, but you can't do that. So my first one is that there's slim to no non-dairy options. That's really specific to me because, like I said, there's no option to say no of any of that, egg or nuts or anything like that. Every single meal has some sort of sour cream, some sort of creamy situation, and sometimes, a lot of times, it's hard to even skip it. I don't know, I just wish that it was more of those dietary restrictions on being able to say no to certain things. I also want to say before we get any further in that I don't dislike HelloFresh. I actually really like HelloFresh. I just want to give you guys what I learned. Once again, I feel like I'm having to re-say this because I want to make sure you guys know that I do actually like HelloFresh, and I probably will keep the subscription many weeks on down the line. So number 2 is that it's kind of only inexpensive if you're single. I feel like if it's multiple people you're trying to feed, you're gonna barely be able to feed with the meals, because the meals are supposed to be 4 servings, well, up to 4 servings, and I feel like I can barely eat it twice. I definitely can't eat it 4 times, if you know what I mean. Honestly, if I had to feed 4 people with 1 meal, everybody would still be hungry. It would almost be like on Seasons 52. It's definitely not what it claims to be. So in that same sense, I feel like it's only inexpensive if you're single because you're able to eat 1 meal 2 times. So I think at the most, like 2 people can eat 1 meal, which would be pretty inexpensive per meal. So basically I do 3 meals per week. I went up to 4 meals for a period of time, but I realized that I don't cook that much, so I went back down to 3 meals, and so roughly it's $66.92 a week for 3 meals without any promotion or anything like that. Those promotions only last like maybe your first week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then after that it's back to what it is. So that makes each meal $22.31, and then if you divide that by 2, if I spread them between 2 meals, it's $11.15. To be quite honest, it's just like getting a fast food restaurant meal, except you're cooking it as far as pricing. So, you know, do with that as you may. I don't know if it's really that much cheaper than like just going to the grocery store and buying like chicken and vegetables and making that. But what I love about HelloFresh is the amount of different meals that I've been able to make, and it's really stretching my cooking skills, and I'm learning how to cook without even having HelloFresh, which I love that. So when I want to just cook a meal, I know exactly what I'm doing as opposed to having to look up a recipe. And the pricing that I said is kind of give or take, because this past week I did add garlic bread to my meals, so that made it go a little bit higher. I would say maybe plus or minus 2, just depending on the meals that you pick. So that was kind of like a 2-in-1, 2 things that I learned in one. Number 5 is that really the times that it says that it takes you to cook and prep the meal is not right. I've timed it many times and I'm knowing that I'm on a timer, so I'm moving fast. I'm making sure that I go one step to the next step to the next step. I'm making sure that I'm cutting up them vegetables like it ain't nothing, and I still am cooking when that timer goes off. So you know, that's fine. But when you're hungry and you're like, what the heck, and then you already know that it's not gonna take the time that it says on there because you've timed yourself, then it's just like, well, god dog, I might as well just order some food on Uber Eats or something like that. But overall, I do think it's still better to cook than it is to do Uber Eats. But you know, I just wish the timing was more exact to what they say. I'm sure it is if you're like a chef, then you wouldn't even need the instructions, but you have to spend time kind of reading the instructions and then actually doing what it says. Okay, 6. This one is because, okay, I might be a little bit weak, but them meat containers are so hard to open. Like, if you get ground beef or ground turkey, it is so hard to open. Like, you have to slice it open with a knife. That's it. That's it for 6. I feel like this video is turning into me feeling like I'm whining, but I wouldn't say any of this if I wasn't doing a video. I'll be quiet to myself, just cooking my little meals. But this is stuff that I've just learned and want to share with you guys. So for 7, there are a lot of different meals to choose from, which is amazing if you are adventurous with your taste buds. But sometimes I just want normal food, you know? I just want a regular old burger, a regular old set of fries, you know, stuff like that. Fish and vegetables, or chicken and a salad. Like, I don't want to be a whole chef every time I cook a meal, you know? I want like different options for normal-ish food, if that makes any sense. Normal is to the eye of the beholder, but more easier options that I can weave into my complex options of other stuff that I want to do during the week as well. Okay, 8. Out of the 4 or 5 months, probably more like 5 months now that I've had HelloFresh, I've only had weird meat one time, which is a good thing. This is a plus. When I took it out of the packaging, it looked funny and it smelled funny, so I just went meatless that day. But yeah, so that's a good thing and a bad thing put in one. May or may not get correct looking food, because I've had a weird looking onion before that I showed you guys in a vlog, my most recent vlog. But I feel like meat is more like intense. That's the reason why I said that one first. And you can have those same weird situations if you just get food from the grocery store, because you know, there's always room for situations like that to happen. And I'm sure it's no fault of HelloFresh, it's just how the food ended up. And kind of along those same lines, number 9 is that my box actually got delayed or lost maybe like 5 or 6 times, and they said that they was gonna credit me for some garlic bread, not the garlic bread I just ordered that I mentioned earlier, but for some different garlic bread, and all I had to do was add it to my order. Well, I still had to pay for that garlic bread. And you know, in the same sense, my boxes were lost and I was out of food for that week, which is no fault to them. It's just letting you know everything that can happen. So number 10 is a good thing, and that is, it is a really easy interface on the app. Choosing your meals, getting like the recipe if you lose the recipe paper, just everything you need to know on that app. That is one of the most amazing apps on how seamless it is on picking your meals and all of that. I love the interface on it. I never feel confused. And okay, I am a sucker for packaging, and the way that the meals come so organized and just so well put together, I just love that. I love how they have like these huge ice packs that the meat sit in between and you can recycle those. I love how the bags come all packaged and everything like that, and you just put them in the refrigerator and it looks so neat and organized. So I absolutely love the way that the whole system is set up. And the last one, I guess this is more like 11, but this is just like a mini tip. Follow the instructions one after another. So don't like try to skip ahead, because you will mess up. I've messed up a lot of meals doing that. Unless, like I said, you're a chef. I know I said that kind of in the beginning, but I want to stress to make sure that you follow the steps one after another so that your meals come out looking as beautiful as the photo on there. And the instructions are really laid out to where everything should flow very naturally in the cooking process, so that you're not having to pull out another pan, because they'll have you reuse pans and stuff like that. So just make sure you're doing one step after another. So that's the end of this video. Overall, I genuinely do like HelloFresh. There are just a few things that I wish were a little tweaked, if you know what I mean. But you know, I definitely recommend that you guys try it out for yourself. It's definitely a fun little thing to do. I wouldn't say it's super cheap, but it's not like overly expensive either. So it's something fun to try out. If you have been thinking about it, I definitely recommend it. Just keep in mind some or all of the things that I said. Hopefully it was at least a little bit helpful. But thank you guys as always so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe down below and thumbs up this video, and I promise I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.